Welcome to Kings of the North, featuring the Chicago Bears.
I hate
Just
this
kidding.
division.
This is NFC North West Coast edition, but the Bears have become the Kings of the North. Things can change very quickly, though, so I'll keep that in mind.
I hate this division.
Feels good. Feels good. Feels good.
Why can't we be? I wish we were another division, dude.
The good old black and blue division. Oldest division in football. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Oldest teams, I should say.
Oldest teams.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting week, and yet again,
Only
a shakeup in the NFC North.
only your team can make my team winning not feel good, because now you guys are the leaders. You guys are that team, and
yeah, it's another heart attack, but you know.
I'm not used to hearing Bears are in first place.
Me either. It's okay. Yeah, the Bears just continue to take years off of their fan base's, life, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
It almost felt. Here's the thing. It almost felt like it was the rematch of the first game, but you guys redeemed yourself.
Yeah, 100%. It was definitely feeling that way. There's a little kind of nuances during the game that I was like, okay, they learned a little bit, but I mean, all right, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Bears-Vikings game. Obviously, interdivision. Bears go into Minnesota hoping to steal one back, because clearly the first, game of the season, we let one slip away and we let Minnesota steal that one. And they did it. They got their revenge game, came out on top with yet again a last-second field goal. Bears winning 19-17.
We need to talk more about that field goal.
I thought we missed it.
I did too.
I'm like, oh my God, he missed it.
But holy, the guts, whatever you want to call it, to know that your kicker's kind of shaky and to go for a 50-yarder.
Yeah, especially after missing, the previous kick.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know, but Ben Johnson, he says he has full confidence in Cairo. I can't say the same thing, but yet again,
I don't think Cairo can say the same thing.
I mean, they continue to find ways to win, and it's been a very stressful yet entertaining season for Bears fans.
It's been your MO. It's been your MO the whole year.
Yeah, 100%. And, the storyline going into this game was the Bears were not the same team week one, which is true. I mean, these past, 6-7 weeks, the Bears, if they're around in the fourth quarter, they're finding ways to win. It doesn't matter how, they're just finding ways to come out with a win. And, I have to speak a lot to also the culture change, because we kind of talk about it every week, but in previous, last year, the Bears were losing all of these games. And what's crazy is I talked about this in the beginning. I talked about how Minnesota had a very similar season last year.
Yeah.
So last year they won all of their close games. The year before that, they lost all of their close games. So it was just sort of, an interesting pattern. And
you guys also lost a lot of your close games
last year. So a lot of our losses were one-score games, and that's something that I talked about that I was hoping for coming into this season.
You did say that in the preseason.
Yeah, because I was making that comparison, and I'm like, I'm hoping with Ben Johnson and the way that he coaches, we're going to find ways to come out on top in these games. So, talking about the game itself. First of all, it was a punt fest for a majority of the first half. It was a punt. It was a combination between a punt fest and a drop fest. Both teams going back and forth punting, and both teams having crucial drops by, very dependable receivers. I mean, DJ Moore had a bad drop. Rome Odunze had Luther Burden had a bad drop. And then you look at the other side, and And I'm just gonna kind of flip back and forth between the Bears and the Vikings. I know sometimes we stick to one team, but because they played each other, I'm gonna just kind of piggyback to both sides. But on the Viking side, Justin Jefferson had a key drop. Jordan Addison had a key drop.
Yeah.
And, so that was kind of like the storyline.
Seemed
But
like it was a storyline for the whole East. Anything
yeah.
east of the Mississippi, because every team, no matter what, they had that issue. I think wind was just high in the whole
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah, that is very
I know
true.
it's the Midwest, but you get the point.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. And
Although you guys did play indoors, so I don't know what excuse you guys
yeah,
have.
yeah, there's none.
But we'll just go with that. It was just an East Coast thing.
I will say though, McCarthy looked off.
Who?
Ooh, 9.
9. 9 did not
So
show up.
I wrote a post recently that was like, did McCarthy's like stat line since revealing his alter ego 9, and it was just bad all around.
Oh, shit.
It was like a 30% completion percentage and like multiple interceptions, maybe one touchdown. I mean, it was a bad stat line.
The thing is that I don't want to dig in at this kid. He's still learning, but you're not supposed to give yourself a nickname, an alter ego. That's just not how it is. You let people, you let the fans, you let other players do that. Here's the best quarterbacks in the world have never said, "This is who I." Maybe Aaron Rodgers did some. I don't know, but besides him, all of the other ones let other people name them.
Yeah.
I'm 9. It's just corny. It's very corny.
Yeah, so I mean, these are some concerns that were coming out of college, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people talked about JJ McCarthy's accuracy and
Yeah.
questioned if he could perform at an NFL level. Now it's early, again, we're considering this as rookie season, so I'm not, letting that sway
Yeah.
what we think is, was this a good pickup? Is he the future of the Vikings? Because it's very early.
We
and
don't
you-
know.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
you generally can't tell until a couple years in. Because I look at like Josh Allen, they
Well,
they were ready to throw him to
yeah.
the wolves, and then
Well, before Josh Allen, the saying was always, "You can't teach accuracy," and then Josh Allen fully changed that.
yeah,
So maybe you could.
yeah. So, but I mean, if that's what JJ is gonna throw, the Vikings aren't gonna win many games unless they just rush for
Yeah.
250 yards a game and rely on their defense, which I mean the Bears have done for a long time, but it's not really a recipe for a winning culture and a winning
I
football team. So it's a little concerning for the Vikings perspective. He's gonna have to clearly work on that part of his game. Obviously, he has the athleticism. Obviously, he, has the poise late game.
Yep.
But Caleb's just better.
Right now,
'Cause,
Caleb is better.
I mean,
But Caleb also has
ice
is the
in his
second-
veins. He's got ice in his veins.
I mean, at times
Ice man.
you can't make a living on only having comebacks, because there's gonna be times where you won't have the opportunity to come back.
I mean,
But don't get me wrong.
You can't make a living off of it. That's
Okay,
hard to
maybe
say.
that's maybe a bad
Yeah.
way to phrase it. You shouldn't make a living.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Because when you think about it, the clutch factor is what drives greatness. And
Yeah. Okay.
you can't look at the all-time great athletes, and yes, they can put up stats and numbers, but what really set them apart from the rest of the talent in any professional sporting league is their clutch factor. And that's something that like basically the saying between LeBron James and Michael Jordan or even Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe and Jordan had that like clutch factor and continuously closed out games, and that's why they'll always be my 1 and 2 above LeBron James, because yes, LeBron has the perfect build of a great basketball player in sense of like physically and talent wise, but there's just a lot of times that LeBron doesn't know how to close out games. And so
I'm never gonna disagree with you with Michael Jordan. He's my number 1, but I do shift on LeBron. I know this is not a basketball, but I do like the analogies that you're making. We both have a different of opinions on that. And my opinion shifts so much on what LeBron James is.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying is you can be a extremely talented athlete, right? But it's really it's those clutch factors. And to be honest, that's why when you look at it, that's why Patrick Mahomes gets his flowers all the time because he's had these clutch moments where he can bring the Chiefs. Now let's all enjoy a moment of the Chiefs for a second.
We can't too much. Not until we find out they're not in the
That's
playoffs.
true. That's true. Because yeah, they may. Then that's what I'm saying, right?
They could
Like,
still win with a shit under 500 record if somehow they make it.
yeah, dude. But that AFC West division,
They-
it's the Broncos are making it interesting, and
without straying too much off of the North, I just have to say this.
the
Pat-
Chargers are also making it very
but
interesting.
that's the point I was gonna make. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best, probably the best athletic or talent wise. I'm not gonna dispute too much on that. But he's benefited the same way that Tom Brady benefited in being in a division where none of them could ever make the playoffs. So he had an automatic in, just like Tom Brady always had an automatic in.
Yeah.
And the second that Tom Brady's division started getting competitive, he left to the Bucks. Patrick Mahomes is finally in a division where every single team there is competent.
Minus the Raiders.
We forget that they exist. I don't want to get stabbed. We're too close in proximity.
Yeah, exactly. Shh. Don't let the Raiders fans hear you. No, I agree. And
Sorry, Mark.
yeah, but going back to the game though, with you know, again, it's something that you can improve on.
Yeah.
That's the good thing is accuracy is something that you can continue to work on. So JJ just and he understands that. He came out in his like post game pressers as well and owned up to it and like he just I gotta go back to work. I gotta go back to work. And it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you do. But going back to the game itself, clearly, first half with the punt fest, it was a defensive battle.
Yeah.
I think that
I mean, it's Flores' defense. It's always going to be a tough battle no matter what you do.
yeah. So highlighting the defenses really, right? Like neither offense was particularly efficient in the passing game. In fact, both Caleb and JJ McCarthy were both 16 of 23 passing.
Yeah.
Just Caleb 193 yards, no touchdowns, no turnovers. That's the big one. 2 sacks for, 13-yard loss. And then JJ McCarthy had the touchdown in the fourth quarter to bring, life back into Minnesota. But then his 2 interceptions at very crucial times.
Yeah.
So, and quite frankly, that's how the Bears have been making their living defensively is turnovers, right? And can't say I'm like too surprised. I am surprised. Like that one turnover, I've been giving Nashawn Wright a lot of this season, and I will say though that one interception where he just fully extended was pretty impressive. So I'll give him some credit there. And coming from the practice squad to now guarding wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, I'm cutting him a little bit of slack. Still a lot of room for improvement, but the Bears defense on their end also was yet again, they've been very efficient on third down, holding the
Yeah.
Vikings 3 for 11, while the Bears on their end was 7 for 18 on third down. So that's kind of giving you the storyline of the game, right? It's a defensive battle, but it's the teams that are going to continue their drives and be efficient and the defense is getting off the field at certain times.
You guys have been one of the better yards per game defenses in the league.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but it's so funny. I was talking to my cousins, and we have 3 defensive players, and all 3 of them, I think it's Kevin Byard, Nashawn Wright, and Tremaine Edmonds. All 3 of them lead the league in interceptions. So to have 3 different players
Yeah.
on the same defense leading the league in interceptions is crazy because sometimes we look at this defense and we look at the secondary and we're like, God, they give up too many yards and too many big plays. But it's like we have the best secondary and the worst secondary at the same time. It's a very conflicting relationship. But the Vikings had a game plan. They blitzed Caleb a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, this guy was under duress
Yeah.
basically the entire game.
And they have athletic players to be able to at least try to contain him.
Yeah.
You can't really contain Caleb all that much, but
Yeah.
you could
So
try.
so 66.7% of the time the Vikings blitzed.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is almost 70%. And pretty impressive though. Caleb Williams during the blitz was 11 of 21 for 121 yards and was sacked just once. He
Wow.
also had 26 rushing yards. So, and Dylan was at this game. I know you had fun, but we stole one back. I told you we would. But he even said, like, what did he put baby oil on before the game? Like, he was so slippery out here. But if you've been watching the Bears the past couple weeks, this is what he's been doing. He's
Yeah.
been so elusive in the pocket where, like, he doesn't seem like a big guy, Caleb Williams, but his lower body must be ripped
Yeah.
because so many times it looks like he's going to get sacked and he just finds a way to escape. And it's been very impressive. And that's the kind of stuff that you can't teach
Oh, yeah.
quarterbacks,
I agree with that.
And
I again, I'm not gonna talk bad about the kid. I talk really great about him in college. Miss him a lot. But I do think that we got to get to that next level where you don't have to come back. I will continue to come back to this
yeah,
because I think that the second half of this season should be, or the latter part of the season should be, starting to dominate because you guys have the offense for that. You guys,
yeah, I agree. And again, so here's where I was referring earlier to like the nuances of like there are just little cues that are different. Is that we were scoring points. It was just field goals. We have to get
yeah,
into the end zone, So yeah,
inconsistencies.
and to be quite frank, if Cairo doesn't miss that field goal, then it really becomes a two-score game and it puts more
Yeah.
pressure on, the Vikings and
But
you
at this
feel a
point,
little bit more
you should
comfortable.
expect one missed Cairo field goal.
Uh, I don't know. It's just he doesn't like the thing about him is he doesn't seem like he has a strong leg, but he's pretty accurate in the sense of like
I mean, if
I don't
it's
know.
from 40 yards, he's gonna make it. Once you start getting to like the 47, closer to 50, in
Yeah.
this era where kickers are like consistently making 60-yarders,
Yeah.
we're losing that type of
Yeah.
kicker.
That's where I do agree with, but especially in the NFC North, you don't want to be kicking 50-yard field goals. Not in that weather. And it's
Yeah, but you guys were indoors, so
well, of course, but that's not
I'm just
similar to like what you're saying is you don't want to make a living on
yeah, you're right, you're
comebacks.
right.
You don't want to make a living on 50-yard field
There's a
goals.
reason why we kept
Uh,
Mason Crosby so long, is that he was accurate in the cold.
yeah.
So,
So, and a couple things that I do
and we
want to
love them.
highlight on the Vikings end, though. So, what's crazy is the Vikings at home are now 1-4. It is like a home field disadvantage.
Whoa.
And being one, and the only game that they won, by the way, was against the Bengals. So it was literally the Isaiah Rodgers Showtime game because that
Ooh,
guy just like had the most insane game
I mean,
this season,
there's
probably.
some nuance there just because we need to emphasize that it was Carson Wentz. All of those games were Carson Wentz, with the exception of this being JJ, of course.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor, but you should still win your home games.
Yeah, at least 50%. And
Yeah.
so, it's just an interesting thing to monitor because I don't know. It's just like I said, you got to take advantage of your 70,000 plus fans making noise for you,
Yeah.
and
It's yeah, I fuck.
yeah.
Most of their home games, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at the Vikings now, in order to keep their playoff hopes alive, they're going to need to go on a run
A
because
massive run.
yeah, a massive run and
I mean,
it doesn't get any easier next week. So, we'll get to that,
yeah,
but those are kind of my thoughts on the Bears Vikings game.
I I have the same thoughts. Concern about JJ. Again, we're not gonna chew the kid completely out. I'm gonna chew him for 9 because that's cringy as hell. but I still think the kid has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out when it comes. But the Vikings do need to get some together
Yeah.
because at the same time, they have a competent run team that they're not utilizing.
Yeah.
They have two really good running backs, but they're only utilizing one, which gets one tired.
Yeah.
That's another.
It's yet again, it's just like the story in the NFL, right? Where you can play this great game against the Lions
Yeah,
and then
it's yeah.
I don't know. I
Show
don't
up one
know.
week, you don't show up the other.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this was definitely these are starting to become key moments for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And these are also starting to become unfortunate moments for the Vikings. And w- those storylines are still being written, but I'm more concerned if I'm a Vikings fan right now than if I'm a Bears fan. That line or the trajectory of where they're going right now doesn't seem so great.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely a lot of it is gonna fall on, JJ's shoulders, which most of the time the offense does fall on the quarterback's shoulders. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, they're gonna have to go on a run here in the next couple weeks to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other teams in the division are worried about making the playoffs. They're what
Yeah.
3 games behind.
4-6 right now. So
Oof.
yeah. Alrighty, let's move on to the Packers playing in New York against the Giants. The Packers escaping. I'm just gonna say escaping with a
Mm,
27-20 win after losing their last two.
escaping's a little bit strong, don't you think?
No, no. If Jameis Winston doesn't throw that interception at the end,
You
it could go
still
both
it
ways.
could, but at the same time, our defense was pretty solid. They could not stop the run. I'll give it. They kind of chose which poison they were gonna get killed by. I get that, but they held them. It was a windy
Yeah.
day. I had to emphasize that the kickers all struggled, and everyone struggled to catch the ball.
I mean, I would say that Jameis Winston looked pretty comfortable running that offense. I think
Oh yeah,
that
but he always looks comfortable running any offense. He just throws the ball in too many picks in unfortunate moments.
well, and
That's
that's what I'm saying is he looked good for most of the game until, of course, when he had
it,
his Jameis
and
Winston
and
moment,
here's
just
the
like we
thing.
talk about Carson Wentz moment.
This
So
game, he should have had 4 picks, 4 or 5 picks.
yeah,
They were dumb drops by the cornerbacks.
yeah,
They were in their chest.
hmm
On one of them, one of the cornerbacks got ran into by the safety, by Xavier McKinney. And another one, they thought that they had an open lane, so they ran before they caught the ball. And another one, they got ran into another player. So you see these
yeah,
things kept on happening. He should have had 4 or 5 picks. This game should have been totally different. And this
but he
game,
didn't.
they didn't. And that happens. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. The defense isn't always they're cornerbacks for a reason. They're good at stopping. They're not always going to catch those balls. A
Yeah,
wide receiver should catch those balls.
yeah,
Speaking of, none of our wide receivers could catch.
yeah,
The only one that could catch anything was probably Christian Watson. But Dobbs had timely drops. These were momentum shift types of drops. You had Josh Jacobs dropping the ball and then he got injured, which that
hmm
one's a tough pill to swallow too. But I do have some thoughts on that. We'll get to that.
hmm
And every single wide receiver could not catch the ball or get into a position where they're going to catch the ball. And I know the stat line looks like Jordan Love didn't have the best of games. If you watch that game, it was a fantastic game by him. If you're throwing dimes to the point that they're right in your wide receiver's chest and they're not catching, and you're still finding ways to convert on third and fourth downs and still getting your team in positions to win. That's the best your quarterback's going to be able to do.
yeah. To me, it just seemed like it started to look like the past 2 Packers weeks, and it was basically like, okay, the defense is playing well, but the offenses can't get anything really going. And then to me, it wasn't until Malik Willis came in after
Yeah.
Jordan Love got injured and he like provided the spark
I had
that
I have opposing opinion.
That was like
Oh, I love
what the
Malik, by the
Packers
way.
needed.
I love Malik. I think Matt LaFleur, the way he runs his offense is more tailored to Malik Willis, but Malik Willis is still a system quarterback. Never gonna advocate for him to be the starter. And some Packer fans out there are. I think that's crazy. But my pushback is I don't think we started playing great until Josh Jacobs went out. I think that was the catalyst. That was the key moment that Matt LaFleur was like, okay, we can't run the ball the way we always run the ball. And he shifted his offense. The moment that Josh Jacobs went down, you saw that we did more pass plays and they were working. We did more unique plays, more RPOs. It wasn't let's do a zone run, let's do a halfback run to the. It was more unique pass plays at a necessity. But that's what we need to do. Why are we running so many times when it's so predictable? I love Josh Jacobs. Use them and utilize them, but don't rely heavily on the run in a pass heavy NFL. I mean, watch the game again, and you're going to see the second he goes down, Jordan Love started playing a lot better.
I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe, but so you said something very interesting to me that Matt LaFleur runs this offense kind of catered to Malik Willis, but
I think I should emphasize more that Matt LaFleur, he comes from the Shanahan tree, right?
mhm.
That whole tree thrives on system quarterbacks. You have to be in this system. Don't shift from the system unless it's dire. But Jordan Love is not a system quarterback. He is the total opposite of that. He is a gunslinger. And sometimes you're going to make a mistake. But this whole idea that Jordan Love is turnover prone, if you look at his stats this whole year, he has one of the lowest turnover rates of all quarterbacks. But he also isn't allowed to throw the ball anymore, so he's being pampered, he's being held back. And this game, near the tail end of it, when Josh Jacobs went down, you could see, oh, potential. He has great throws, he has great IQ, and that throw he had to Christian Watson that pretty much got us the win. It's one of the most beautiful throws I've ever seen. And that's what happens because it was a necessity to throw because we can't rely on Josh Jacobs.
Mm, I mean,
Did you see that throw to
eh,
to Christian Watson? That is the thing of beauty.
no, but I mean, I don't really like
I
oh,
will
okay.
that's again,
I
Jordan
just
Love
you're
lives
just
in
like so infatuated with Jordan Love.
no, no,
Yeah, you are, DJ. You are.
no. I mean, you
I'm sure quarterbacks I'm sure if we look at as many QB throws, I'm sure we can find plenty of most beautiful quarterback throws we've ever seen.
the thing is that the criticism for Jordan Love is that he could throw dumb throws in trying to make that extended play. I'll give you that. But the throws that he makes where he threads the needle. That's a rare trait when you're throwing it down 60 yards. It's rare. That doesn't happen. Some quarterbacks could do it. You got Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not comparing. I'm just saying it's a rare thing to have that much accuracy and have such a deep ball. He doesn't have it all the time. But when he does, these are beautiful, beautiful throws. Again, I want to see what the kid could do eventually. Like I want get the get the seatbelt off, get the airbags off. Just if he throws a pick, he throws a pick. I'm done with Matt LaFleur being safe. There's no more safe. He's 27 years old. Let's see what he could do. Every single time we're in a dire situation, think about it. The Cowboys, we're in a dire situation, and you let him throw the ball. We get into a position where we could at least tie or win. And then what happens when we get into a position where we should win? Matt LaFleur runs the ball against the Eagles. He at least got us in a position where we could try to win the game. Matt LaFleur runs the ball. And you saw that. I texted you at that moment. I'm like, who the runs a shotgun run on a fourth down? In every single position where we should be letting him throw the ball, we're running it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can't obviously I don't know what goes into Matt LaFleur's play calling. I mean, I don't really have that opinion that he like
It's been more this year than any other year, but I feel like this year's the year that Jordan Love has developed a little bit more, but he's still acting like he's and going against the 49ers throwing dumb picks. He could be, but at the same time, he's also making these throws that are allowing us to win these games that we probably shouldn't be winning.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the bigger picture, it's not so again, you don't want to make a living off of having to thread the needle all the time because that is when you actually throw picks often, right? And so,
Sure.
of course, that's a great quality to have. These are all great qualities to have. But it sounds like the bigger problem is just the offense in general. And it sounds like one, and this has been happening for the past several weeks for the Packers, is the receivers are dropping a lot of balls. So that I think is deflating the offense keeping drives alive,
Yes.
which then entails, maybe Matt LaFleur being like, "Ugh, I mean, we gotta reestablish the run
Mm,
because
yeah, but he's causing us to have to throw these third and longs when he's running two consecutive runs that lose yards. I get you have to establish the run. But there are moments where the run just needs to be abandoned for at least a moment. Like, let's get to a position where we could score. And if the run isn't working, which this whole season it hasn't been working unless we're in the goal line. Jordan Love probably, and I get it. If you get the easy run for a touchdown, let Josh Jacobs have them all day. It's gonna look bad on Jordan Love because he's not. He probably should have 20 something touchdowns. Cool, who the cares? Josh Jacobs get all those. But when you're in your own side of the ball, maybe don't run it 3 consecutive times if you're losing yards every time.
well, yeah, it's definitely conservative. So I guess the bigger question is, and I mean, I said it last week, is that some of the times it feels like he's just making these play calls because it feels like he doesn't trust the offensive line. And sometimes, when you watch some of Jordan Love's throws, it feels like he's getting rid of the ball earlier than, the timing of that specific route because it feels like the pocket is collapsing and he himself may not trust the offensive line. So I don't know. I mean,
I I agree to some extent, but yeah, our offensive line is terrible right now. It's the worst I've seen in maybe 3 or 4 years. So that's gonna affect Jordan Love. I get that, and that affects Matt LaFleur's play calling. I get that. But you know what helps a bad offensive line? It's if you're gonna ru
establishing the run.
uh, okay, question, why do we establish the run? What's the
So you could do play action.
Thank you. We were in the first 6 weeks of our season, we were the number 1 team for play action in the whole NFL, and in the last 4 weeks, we have become the last, like, literally in the bottom 3. How the do we go with that
It's
disparity?
it's also, I mean, play action is very, very obviously a big part of it because every offense has play action now. But another reason you establish the run is because you want to keep the defense honest.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
want them to be, you know, if you're not running the ball, then they don't load the box and then they play this, soft type coverage defense where it's like, yeah, okay, go ahead, pick up 2-3 yards on
yeah,
an underneath pass and we'll just tackle you before the sticks. So there's a lot of things going into it, but I mean, I understand where you're coming from. And of course, like you never want to get into a one dimensional,
yes.
play call, or
I
you don't want to become one dimensional, and you definitely like, also can't throw the ball 50 times a game.
yeah,
Like, so
balance.
it is about balance. But I mean, like I said, I think it's like multiple layers. I think it's a combination of the receivers that, are dropping the balls when they need to make catches, which entails like makes it seem like the offense is not moving the ball when it absolutely could.
Yeah,
And a combination of, you know, the offensive line, of course. So I mean, we talked about it last week. This Giants pass rush is highly underrated. I mean, they're literally one of the best pass rushers in the league, and they were pressuring Jordan Love a lot in this game, but maybe,
He managed to throw the ball and get us into position so we could have won.
yeah.
I do. I do. Am I a little concerned at times? Yes. I'm not very concerned about the defense unless injuries happen. That you can't call that. But when it comes to the offense, this game showed me more optimism than concern because it at least showed that Matt LaFleur could finally adapt his play calling. And don't get me wrong, I think we're a worse team without Josh Jacobs. But if he misses a week or two, it might benefit us so we could get our momentum and our rhythm back and then introduce him back so we could have balance.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
What was up with the extra points?
Oof, it's too windy. Both teams couldn't make him. And Jungkook's decent. Like, he's not a bad kicker. So neither of them could make a kick. And just to finish off on our offense, if we could just get some momentum going, Toyotathon is starting pretty soon. What's up?
Yeah. 5 of your next 7 games are also against the NFC North, so
I know,
that's
it's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be a very interesting Toyotathon.
I think that who wins these games will win the North. That's how crazy we are. We're getting to a point that we're all gonna see each other multiple times, and
Yeah. It's gonna be a very tough schedule here in the next couple weeks. All right, let's move on to our Sunday night game. Whew, another super highly entertaining. I mean, this was like a shootout. These offenses
I
were
feel
just
like
going back and forth. It was
I
crazy.
feel like the Eagles should just be called the Thursday Night Eagles because they literally play that way at this point.
All right. Well, Detroit going into Philadelphia and falling to the Eagles 16-9. And you know what? Eagles fans, the alliance has been completed. Good job.
I hope they whoop your ass. I literally hope that they beat the crap out of the Bears.
Woo! It's been fun. It's been fun, Philly.
I hope
Thank
it's
you
like
for that.
I hope it's like 40 to like
Hey,
2
we were all
or
real. We knew
7.
that it was going to be a short-lived alliance, but it was that was fun. That was fun while it lasted.
But knowing the Eagles, they can't even score 20 points, man. It's going to be another boring game.
Yeah, this was yet again another defensive battle, and I cannot figure out this Lions team for the life of me.
I can't either.
You know, so I'm really struggling with the Lions, and I'm really struggling with. I'm starting to like wonder if they're even questioning their own identity because this Lions team.
Mm-hmm.
It has always been known for its offensive
Yeah,
identity, right?
big time.
And of course, like, hey, kudos, right? The defense played great, and the defense has, been very complimentary to the Lions these past couple years. I'm not trying to cut the defense short. Obviously, they went through a lot of injuries last year, which caused them to fall in the stat line. But I mean, I guess we got to give credit to Philadelphia
Their
because
defense
their defense
looks fantastic.
Yeah, we said that if they can hold the Lions.
Well, the trade that they made right before the trade deadline has pretty much, I forgot the dude's name, but he's been really good. If I look it up,
Is it a linebacker?
yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, let's just talk about so one thing we've always known about Jared Goff, right? If you get Jared Goff off of his spot and you put some pressure on him, he is such a systemic quarterback and he's such a pocket
Jalen
friendly.
Phillips, sorry.
Yeah. And he's such a pocket friendly quarterback that he's going to struggle under
Yeah.
pressure. And so that's very apparent. And he's not elusive,
No.
know. So
I mean,
if the Lions are not keeping a clean pocket for Jared Goff, that's a lot of problems for them in itself. They can't get their offense going in that. But what absolutely drove me crazy in this game was Dan Campbell going for it in every possible way. I did not.
We called this, by the way, when he took over.
I just
I don't get it. I don't get it either. I think that they're again balance.
So he's going for it on 4th down, doesn't get it, right? Then he's like, let me do a fake punt in there.
Yep.
doesn't work. He literally, I think through the first 3 quarters was 0 for 5 on 4th down and then still continued to go for it in the 4th quarter.
I
Like, I just
my
take the points. It's already such a low scoring game where yes, does it feel like maybe the first team who scores a touchdown is going to come away with the win? And that is what happened, okay?
Sure.
But it
It seemed more like a
take the
self-fulfilling
points.
prophecy, though.
Take the points. I don't
I,
know.
I
It was like so frustrating to me
we
and
called it though. We knew that this would happen because I
yeah.
felt like last year Ben Johnson kept them on check. Like he still went for it, but at least there was like a little angel in his shoulder saying like, "Hey, just be smart about this one." And then Dan Campbell has another little devil Dan Campbell on him saying, "Go for it on all downs."
Yeah, it was very confusing to me. I didn't really understand it. Like the other thing is you go for it because your offense is feeling it,
Yeah,
right? The offense didn't
they
feel
tried
anything that game.
they tried jump starting
Like,
their offense by
yeah.
going for it.
Yeah, and it just I don't
Well, I mean,
know.
with how low of a scoring game that it was, and they did have, we'll get to the controversy later, but they did have a chance at the end. Those points could have made a difference.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, and I think we we talked about how this aggressiveness has hurt them in the past against the Niners, against Washington, against at the time Washington was an elite team. Against really competent teams, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
and it's biting them in the ass again against the Eagles.
Yeah. And I feel like I mean, Sam Laporta needs to get back fast because
Oh, they need them so much.
I do not see this offense with the same juice without Sam Laporta,
Agreed.
and the way you yeah, so I mean, that's a big loss for them similar to,
But they
the
still
loss of
have
Tucker Craft,
J-Mo and
so
they still have Amara. I
no, I
just
agree, but
don't see
just
how they completely get shut down.
yeah, but I mean, in this offense, the tight end position is, like, so important, and
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but and no, don't get me wrong, Eagles defense is fantastic.
yeah,
We've seen that. Their
yeah,
secondary is stopping
yeah.
everyone. M But if you know that, why the are you going for it so much?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a interesting one for sure, and
They did have a chance, though. They did have a chance, and then that call at the end was stupid. That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
I stopped watching.
Uh One of the I forgot who the cornerback was, but he would I would call it perfect coverage. They the offensive I would call it offensive passive interference before they call it defensive pass interference.
Mm,
But you know how they're grabby, they're
yeah,
both pushing each other. That's very normal, and
yeah,
most of the time you
yeah,
don't call that.
just hand checking, mhm.
And then they call defensive pass interference on the Lions, which that's it. That got the
Oh,
first
and that
down that
got them the
ended the
first
game.
down. Yeah, I did see that, I just didn't see the play.
And I
Oh, look
think
at that, another play where we should be able to challenge
mhm.
interference calls or
Well,
no calls.
Well, the Eagles are becoming the Chiefs now. They're becoming the Kansas City Eagles. So they're getting every play call. And I'm not just talking about last week with the Packers, like this week too. And I shouldn't be defending the Lions. That was a dumb call. But the Lions lost regardless of that call. They lost way before that.
Bro, you can't talk about it because the refs are always on the Packers side. There's so many times where
There, there's there's plays called that the fail Mary. There's games where like never benefited. We should have benefited from things, but
very rare. Very I sometimes I will literally
you
compare and contrast moments between the Bears games and the Packers games and so many like even this past week, literally Caleb Williams got rid of the ball and got pushed back clearly after he released it. Nope.
same thing happened to Jordan Love this week,
Nope.
and they didn't call it.
Nope.
He slid. He was running. He slid, and there was like 3 seconds. You know, you're not allowed to touch a quarterback once he slides because he's giving himself up. And then one of the defensive players came full shoulder right into his head. They didn't call anything. So here's the thing: in the past, it could have happened. Maybe when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, the NFL, he was their sweetheart. I get that. That's a possibility. We haven't had a favorable call like that, like the Eagles are getting or the Chiefs are getting in a very long time.
I don't know.
It might
I
feel
don't know.
that way, but it hasn't been that way for a while.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's it feels like for a very long time, the Packers have always gotten the favorable calls out of any other team in the division.
I mean, again, I'm not going to contest that. I'm just saying I haven't seen it in a long time. And then we normally don't see that kind of stuff when we're looking at our own teams. It's hard to be unbiased, if you will. Kind of like it's hard to be unbiased when it's your rival going against you.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
we'll move on.
Alrighty. Well, let's recap the division standings. Let's
We could skip this. We
go.
could just move on.
All right.
Everyone have a
Hey,
great week.
this is probably the only week that's going to happen. Let me enjoy it. All right. The Bears sit on top of the NFC North, sitting at 7-3. The Packers in second at 6-3-1. The Lions moving into third at 6-4. And the Vikings staying in fourth place at 4-6. So everybody's in it though, and even though the Vikings are sitting at 4-6, we said if they go on a run here, there's a lot of interdivisional games happening here in the second half of the season. So it's gonna be a race. It's gonna be a tight race, and it's gonna get very interesting.
We all see each other so many times.
Yeah. So if we're just looking ahead to this weekend, we have. So the Steelers are playing at Chicago. So the Bears are playing at home versus Steelers. We'll see. I think Aaron Rodgers said he might be okay. I'm not sure what the latest news on that is, but I have a feeling Aaron Rodgers will play. So I hope we sack him 27 times.
Wait, you guys go against Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, if his hand or wrist or whatever the heck he injured this past weekend
He's
is
gonna
okay.
do some ayahuasca. He'll be fine. He'll be in darkness. Don't worry.
He's gonna say, "I own the Bears." Yeah. Okay.
You guys better like make him pay. If not, he'll continue to say he owns the Bears.
Yep. This, I think, is going to be an interesting matchup with the Vikings going into Green Bay playing the Packers. This is the first meeting between these two teams this season.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued on how this is going to. I mean, it'll be an interesting game for sure.
I think this is gonna be an Aaron Jones game. He does really well against us. So I hate to say
game.
It'll be a revenge game.
And then the Lions are playing at home against the Giants. So the Giants just playing the entire NFC North back to back to back. It's an interesting schedule for them. Tough sledding for them for sure. But yeah, the Vikings again this week can shake up the standings again, right?
Yeah.
So another interdivisional game. Yeah, it's
Between you, the Lions, and us, either one of us could be in first or in third place next week.
Yeah, I was looking at the rest of the NFC North schedule, and I would say the Packers and the Bears have the toughest remaining schedule. I think most of our games are against above 500 teams.
Yeah.
And then we have a ton of interdivisional games. So
I'm more concerned about the interdivisional games right now.
It's gonna be tough sledding across the board. I mean, but looking like out of the division.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
we
I'm
still
with
have
you.
Philly, we still have the Niners. You guys still have the Broncos. There was some other team, but it's interesting. Nerve wracking is what it is.
So yeah, the Lions definitely have the more favorable path to winning the North.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have the coaching right now to win the North.
Man.
But
I hope they keep going for it. I do. Keep going for it.
That's the motto of this show. Keep going for it. Only if you're the Lions.
You got it. Eventually, you will get it. Just keep going for it.
I mean, if you go for it 30 times, you might get one or two. You're good.
Yep. All it matters is if you get it that one time. Okay.
I love it. That's what we're gonna talk about the Lions. Just go for it. You got this.
Oh man. Alrighty. Well, that's what we have coming up with this
malicious
weekend.
Compliance. Or
again, stay tuned, listeners, because the final stretch of this season is probably going to take another 45 years off of my life. So, yep. Alrighty, cue up the fun fact. Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Woo! Alrighty. So, very interesting. Since the Bears are at the top of the division,
Uh-huh.
the
You're going to keep on saying that,
the
right?
last time the Bears won the NFC North was in 2018. So this is the interesting thing, though. Every team has won the NFC North since then. So it's not like we've had complete domination, right?
Sure.
So you have the Packers winning. Well, they kind of dominated these years. So 2019, 2020, 21.
Okay.
The Vikings taking the division in 2022, and then the Lions taking the division the past 2 years, 23 and 24. So this is just kind of gives you the idea of how often
It goes back and forward.
the scripts are flipped in the NFC North. So we'll see if a new crown will be given this year, but again, it's still a wide open race.
The thing is
And
that we both want a new crown to be given because we want the Lions not to have it, but
Yeah.
we're just,
Yeah.
rooting for our own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, because of the stat we said of like no team has ever gone to the playoffs after losing both their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, it's just kind of like,
Shaping.
yeah, like do we want to see that trend be broken? Not really.
Nah,
Not
I like
really.
that trend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to be nice. I want the Lions to get the best overall draft pick that they could get. Go for it every single moment so you could get.
Just go for it.
Just go for it.
Just
You'll
go
be
for
able
it.
to go for it in the top 10. You got to love it.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is the recap for week 11 with a little preview of what's coming up this weekend. And
The Lions are
Here we
going to
go.
whoop the Packers' ass because of
We're-
me talking so much.
we're going into week 12, and this is wild. Football season is flying.
It is.
Flying by.
It is. It felt like it was just opening week. Like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, for real.
Anyways, Lions lose. Go for it. I don't want to hear that the Bears are in first place anymore. I'm tired of it. Is this how you felt for years?
Yeah, worse, actually. Alrighty, everybody. We will see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We out.
Bye, guys.